guess we can get started. Now that
Yeah, I
we're
guess
back,
so.
everyone is back, right? I'm not just starting without
Something like that.
me. Is Sosa here? Did he leave?
I have no idea.
Probably. He hasn't responded.
He's here.
Oh, he's here.
He is here.
I don't like that noise. I wish you wouldn't.
His name and he appears.
This is gonna be a great night.
Even Eric knows.
That's a stretch. uh, it's been a little bit since we've sat in the booth, but we're back.
Saturday.
So yeah, it has been since Saturday, hasn't it?
Was
Yeah.
it really? I thought it felt so much longer.
I know. Was it last Saturday? No, it couldn't have been last Saturday because we uploaded
This past
week.
Saturday, yeah.
Was it really? Oh, jeez. I didn't think it was that long.
Wow.
Well, whatever. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fourth Line Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Wad, joined by the lovely Eric Sosa, Greg Evil, over Tarandis. What the fuck?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
that.
What?
What?
You know what you did.
Fucking.
Wait, do I have his soundboard? Oh, I have his soundboard muted.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, fuck. I should be muting the soundboards, but I'm not. Whatever. Welcome back to the Fourth Line Podcast, everybody. So today we are going over a couple of topics. We're going over the entirety of round one, as we will also be touching on the end of the league season, because that has all happened since the last time we actually sat down to record an episode here.
Touchy.
So
No, don't do that either.
before we get started, though, we have a surprise.
Is this the sponsor?
No, this is not that's at the end.
Ah.
We only deal with that at the end.
Oh, I thought the new trend was to do it in the middle, so like it just comes out of nowhere and people like
No,
you know.
no. God,
Don't-
no, that would be horrible. Subjecting them to that. But no, we've got a new little piece of artwork drawn by a good friend of mine. I'm gonna pop that on the screen there. We have a real thing. This is our Fourth Line Podcast, and this is
This
us.
is peak.
This is peak, essentially.
Official.
It's official.
It's also accurate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sosa is that tall.
Sosa is that tall. Silver Tarandis is really a bird, and Greg is really a cat. These are all true things.
And Wad is about to die.
Yes, at all times. All right. But
Yeah.
now that we've shown off
And Tyler
the...
Bodega is AWOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, gone forever. But now that I've kind of shown off the artwork and what will be the thumbnail for the Fourth Line Podcast from here on out, let's get into our topics today. So we're going to start out with the conference standings. So if you guys would like to take that away, I know you've done stat diving all day, Greg.
Yeah, I had fun at work today. I mean, there's not much to say really, because obviously we the first round is already done. So if somehow you missed the last week, St. Louis comfortably won the trophy for most points. I can never remember what exactly it's called, but it starts with an L and sounds French. QCC won it last year, but St. Louis 99 points, point and a half per game. Pretty friggin' nuts. They also scored the most, they did not. They scored the second most goals, but they did have the highest goal differential with a plus 92. But on the other side of that coin, I'm just gonna say it. Sorry, Silver. Thunder Bay finished with 32 points. I'm saying that because they scored 30 points in their last 20 games, so they actually did pretty damn good in the second half of the season, and we'll discuss in a second how that carried into the playoffs. Other thing that I'm definitely aware of is Great Falls won the Northern Conference with 89 points, edging out Kelowna by a single win. They also won, again, don't know the name of the trophy because I don't have that in front of me, but they did with the tandem of Tyler Bodega and Maddie, really long name, Jensen, are going to get the award for fewest goals allowed with only 172 goals allowed. The next closest was actually Vancouver, and it was close going into the final week of Sims. but I think Great Falls really only allowed like 5 goals in the final week. It actually was almost as impressive as Thunder Bay's. I think they had 3 straight shutouts in the final week.
Yeah.
But yeah, 172 goals to Vancouver's 199. St. Louis was in the running for a brief moment. They ended up finishing with 202. Those are your top 3 for best defensive teams. Um, and yeah, like I said, a lot of that did kind of go into the playoffs. I don't know if you want to talk about playoffs right now or just do a quick quick dive into the just our
Yeah,
stats for
let's just dive into the stats for us real quick in terms of like how we played, what we did, and whatnot. And I'll pull that up here in just a moment. But I didn't realize Vancouver also finished with sub 200 goals allowed. I mean, granted by
you.
one, but still, it was. I
Yeah,
didn't realize that was a thing that happened.
I mean, and you guys allowed like 3.01 goals per game. I think is what that 199 boiled down to.
Yeah.
I mean, St. Louis was like 3.02. I mean, it's so minuscule. But to allow, especially in this engine
Mhm.
where scoring is coming at a uh, like just, I mean, just look at the goals that like, especially the Northern Conference. Kelowna 315 goals, St. Louis 294, Carolina 287.
Mhm.
I mean, the vast majority of teams were over 200 goals,
This is true.
and some eclipse, Kelowna eclipsed 300. So
So
goals were definitely not that
An
difficult to come
issue.
by this season.
now a question here is there's an award for the goalkeepers in defense of the team that allows the least amount of goals.
Goalkeepers,
Oh, goalkeepers only. Okay.
just the tandem.
What about for the team that has the most scored by the end of the season? Like, so for example, Kelowna, they've scored 315. Are they going to get a special award for being the highest
No,
offensive rated team? No.
no,
Yeah, that's right.
no.
Fuck them.
They just did good. They have. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, Mel Guola is going to get the award for most goals with 51.
Mm.
Colton Perry Gecko gets the most assists with 55,
Mm.
and Mel also gets most points with 95.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, Kelowna's kind of on top of a lot of the offensive stats, at least the ones that people care
Matter.
about. I will say though, of the the skating stats particularly,
Mhm.
you notice the trend of very specific teams are in those top tens. You got 3 nights in the goals, you got 3 nights in assists, you got 3 nights in points.
Mhm.
You also have 2 scarecrows in goals and assists. And then you look at plus minus, and you have in the top 10, it's 4 nights, 5 scarecrows, and 5 whole goals west from the Kraken. So like I think plus minus is a better stat to gauge a team's performance or at least a line's performance because Zach Peters plus 45, Sosa, I think you finished with like a 30 or something like that, 33.
Yeah,
Um,
plus 33.
Yep.
yeah, like these guys are just nuts. I mean, Gene, who is like the stalwart defender for the Scarecrows, was ninth with a plus 36, and like you got that type of stuff. And then I also like the funny things of like, 5 Vancouver players were in the top 10 for shots,
Mhm.
but not a single one of them was in the top 10 for goals.
Yep. That's just how it goes.
Also shout out to Lou with his three fights won on the season.
Mhm.
And speaking of Jean, Gappy Hillmore actually edged her out by 2 block shots
Really?
in the final game of the season. So yeah, I mean, and then for goalies, we looked at that. Timu with again, it's like a broken record. Scarecrows 38 wins, first by 9 over QCC's Lurts. KJ Daniels, who played in like 65 games, and Yuri Satoshi for I believe that's the Knights, all with 29 each. And then the Maddie finished with 28 for fifth, part of that tandem in Great Falls. Um, Goals against average, Maddie is winning that. Actually, I love goals against. Maddie 251 to win it. Jack for your Vancouver team with a 264.
Yep.
Scarecrows, Andrew Drewski with a 266. The MIA, Tyler Bodega with a 273. And the player going out for you guys, Florence Emile McKenzie, shout out to Raph, with a 302 to finish 7th. Our starter in QCC wasn't even in the top 10 by the end of the season because of the fall off we had towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
He actually finished outside the top 10, but our backup had a 311 and finished 8th.
Yeah, I mean,
and then save
overall,
percentage is, again, it's the same people basically down the line.
yeah, and I mean, overall, really proud of how Vancouver did at the end of the season. We kind of had a little bit of a lull when it came to not only conversation topics, but like I don't want to say activity amongst the server, but because that's not the right thing. Oh God, what were the words I had to say? Of course, now I'm forgetting them as soon as I go to say them.
The words that come out of your mouth.
Yes, the words that come out of my mouth. We had kind of a lull in performance towards the end of the season, but we were able to kind of like shake that going into playoffs. The last couple of games were a little hard to watch because it was just like everything was so drawn out. Most of the results were like really close games. But yeah, since going into the playoffs, we've bounced and became a different team.
I think of the 5 of our teams, only Thunder Bay really had a massive change from first half to second half, and didn't have that lull going into the playoffs. Like I mentioned, they had that streak of 3 shutout games in a row, and I mean that I
momentum
think is
carries.
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
that
dude,
alone was
no
just
doubt.
nuts. Like, and the funny thing is you guys had those. I think it was 3 shutouts. Am I like misremembering that?
It was
we
3
did, we
shutouts.
did.
Yeah.
Okay, because neither of your goalies are in the top 10 for shutouts.
Mhm.
So I mean, it must have been split 2 and 1 then. So one guy would have been.
There must
tied
have
for
been
7.
more than just 3 shutouts though throughout the season. There were a couple of games where goalkeepers had multiple shutouts.
Oh yeah, no, the George Dansk led with 4 for the Timber. One other stat that I also love is the goal saved above average, which is just, hey, you were expected to allow all these goals and you didn't. I think.
Congratulations. Here's a reward.
Yeah, here's your name in lights. Victor Bjork Pejlika finished with a 26.09 and also had the highest save percentage in the league with a 9.05.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a goalie, and they're also in our part of our draft class. So
Well, there we go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well they do next season.
So in terms of league performance, let's just get a quick word from everyone on how we each individually did. So I'll start off in terms of how I did for league performance. I think I did pretty good. I can't complain. I achieved the goal that I set out to complete, and that was do better than I did last season, which I think was all of our goals. Because taking a look from season 1 to season 2, I had 8 goals and 28 assists in season 1. Coming into season 2, I had 21 goals, 34 assists. Blew it out of the water. I feel like I could have done more. I didn't really play in the power play. I didn't really do much. I think I took less faceoffs this season, which was something I was bragging about for so long in the previous season.
You had about 70 more.
I had 70 more? It does not feel like it. It feels like I'm not taking any of them anymore.
No, you had the same amount. You had 3 more losses, but 80 or 71 more wins this season.
Oh, all right. Never mind. Go me. I'm that guy.
Yeah, 5% increase too in your win rate.
Oh shit! I didn't realize. All right, go
you
me.
did good. Yeah, all your stats down the line were better, except for game winners. Your game winners were the same. But other than that, you were literally up on in every single stat.
You know,
and somehow your penalty minutes stayed the same.
My big thing for this season was we were all talking about how we want to get in fights. Out of the 4 of us, there have been in 3 fights. All of you have been in fights and lost.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna keep my hands clean, just to say that the Fourth Line podcast doesn't get swept in fights. So I'm just not gonna fight anybody.
Thank you, bless you.
I'm just happy I wasn't the only one that got into a fight this season.
I'm surprised that you guys did get in fights. Like I had a feeling that like Sosa would, because he's a defender. They're known for being rough and tough and whatnot. But I can't believe out of everyone, the first fight was Greg Evil. Like
I was the first 3 fights for us, and I'm 1-2 on my career.
Oh man, that's That's kind of why.
One of them I knocked myself out of, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that. I do like that.
That's the
running
only
too.
way I could describe it because it was a 5-fighter versus a 5-fighter.
Mhm.
So we know nothing was connecting.
Yeah.
And that probably is how I won my first fight too.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, Tyrannus.
Yeah, let's
Speak.
I do want to hear about how Blitzen, in comparison to the first season to now, talk about it. What do we?
So I definitely took a step back
Mhm.
from my production from last season. Goals went up, but that's not the idea behind silver. So I mean, I'll take goals where I can get them.
Mhm.
The bigger issue is the drop in assists down from 30 down to 22, which obviously took a minor hit on the point total, which went down from 42 to 39. So not too much different. Like I said, a little bit of step back, but I think that can mostly be attributed to the kind of step back that the Thunder Bay took this season. Just with the way the first week of Sims went, just we had like one win within the first like week. Like it was not great.
I think you were winless in the first week.
That's yeah, no, it was either one win
Yeah,
or completely winless in the first week. It
Yeah.
was just,
It was
you know,
15 games.
So about the first 5
yeah,
days
so about a
on
week.
average. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I do think you know, if I produced at a normal rate, hell, if Thunder Bay produces at a normal rate during that first week, I think I'd actually go up in terms of production. But, we got there in the end, right?
Yeah, that's
We
all
made
that
it to the
matters.
playoffs. You know, like at the end of the day, the real outcome for any season is to win the cup. So, you can overlook a lot of early season problems if it results in a cup win. But I would like to see myself produce a little bit more next season, especially with the what is it 75 TPE jump we're about to experience.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Like
critical.
it should be really nice.
Which I think all of us now, I think we all have at minimum of that 75 TPE. I know for a
Yeah,
fact I have
banked.
exactly
I'm
75 in
sitting
my
on
bank.
115 banked right now. It's looking really
Jeepers.
good for next season.
What have you been doing that I haven't in terms of
Uh,
TPE?
PTs and
He's getting
insider
lucky
trading.
run.
Insider trading.
No, it just I've had some really good predictions along with the rest of New England
Yeah, there you go.
about games. So,
Man, I haven't.
oh, what's
Sorry,
that? You're not
been
doing
very
your
good.
predictions?
No, I've been doing
No,
Unbelievable.
I
It's just we haven't
sorry,
been doing very good in
I
ours.
just got an email.
Oh wow, he's not even paying attention to us.
You're
Unbelievable.
talking about how well you're doing, and he's reading his
Wait.
emails.
It's no, it's
I get it. I
No,
get
no,
it.
please,
I'll
please,
tell you-
tell us
I'll-
about your email.
I cannot.
Guys, is it a good email or a bad email?
It's a good email.
It's a good
It's something
email.
I've been trying to get for a couple years now. The
Congratulations.
only thing that I
Tell
can
us
say
about.
is I have to sign an NDA.
Oh God,
Nice. We love NDAs.
love NDAs.
No, one thing I did want to
What's
say.
the NDA for?
Yeah, that I can't tell you. I will
Well, you
have to
haven't
kill
signed
you.
it yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
I'd
that's
have to kill you.
crazy word.
No, one thing I did want to say with Blitzen, or sorry, you're forever Blitzen. Sorry.
What's in Tyrannus? It's
Tyrannus.
effectively the same.
Yeah.
Dog, owl.
Nope, not
horse.
dog.
Nope, not dog.
Anyway, the one thing because you were talking about how your performance did decline, your team's performance declined by 33% in terms of goals scored alone. So
Yeah.
you are still a part of 39 of the goals, which is about 20% of your team's goals you were actively involved in.
I know, yeah.
Last season you were only about 12%. So
Hey, we'll take production where we can get it and however we can get it,
you also added a digit to your hit count on the season. You went from
Woohoo!
83 to 180.
I mean, hits in general went up across the board, so
For
I don't
all
think
of
they
us,
went
actually,
up as
yeah.
much. Like you jumped, which is nice, at least
Yeah.
for me.
it is.
Anyway,
I mean,
Mr. Number One ranked team in Sosa.
What's up, guys? I feel like I haven't really talked this pod.
it's only been 1/3 of the pod. Now is the time that we bring Sosa in.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I had less goals this season, so I'm on a decline.
You're on the decline.
Yeah.
I am. Had one less goal than last season, so.
It's over for you.
But I guess I had 11 more assists, so. I mean, the points jumped up either way.
Yeah.
But the more impressive thing is going from a negative 30 plus minus to a positive of 33.
Yes, dude, that was insane. So one of the first things that we were talking about when
60
this
point
season came
difference.
around was that no matter how well all of us do, Eric Sosa is going to have the greatest plus minus improvement from the first season
Yeah.
to the last season because last season you guys were the whipping boys of the league. It felt like besides Great Falls, St. Louis was
We
down
were.
there. And this season, you go from whipping boys to the whipping boys. Like you whooped
Yeah.
everyone this season. It was
Well, that's more to do with the other people on the line. I just do what I can.
do what you can. You do the work. You come in and you put in the time.
I just shoot from the blue line and hopefully somebody gets the rebound for these so I can get the assist. That's my strat.
There you go. That's the way of looking at it.
But yeah, no. Another big and no, a little drop off of my takeaways this year though.
What about your giveaways?
Not more. I definitely more. About
There you
12
go.
more.
I mean, that's
But
not
my
bad.
my takeaways were at the funny number, so I didn't really need to do better.
Ooh, yeah. I'm looking at the chart now. I see
It
it.
was yeah, it's the funny number guy.
I like to think you
So
got that. I like to think you got that number very early on in the season, and then you just
just
stopped.
kept it.
You just kept it there.
But one big improvement was my blocks went down a little bit,
Mhm.
but my hits almost doubled.
Ooh, there you go. I mean, as a defenseman, you're looking for that to improve. So the fact that you're able to go through
Yeah.
and double that is huge for you.
Yep. So it's definitely a season. It's not a bad season. It's a good season.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
not a
Can't
bad season
complain.
by far.
And next year will be even better.
Yeah,
So
hell yeah.
look out for that.
I just noticed it now that I'm looking at the OBS recording. We have split the smokers and non-smokers in this in this call.
Yeah, I took up a smoking addiction, guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Smoking
with
Smoking
how
Jake
stressful your
Cutler.
season was, yeah.
no, no,
No.
we've been losing a lot more in the
I
last
know.
couple
That's
weeks.
when you started smoking.
Yeah, it's why it's so
Exactly.
stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think
you
it makes
stop
me look
caring.
cool.
We do not endorse smoking. If you have an addiction, please seek medical help.
Yeah.
And
And if you have an erection lasting more than 4 hours, please consult your doctor. Anyway.
Whoa.
Evil's had one for 6 days.
This
6
guy
years.
needs help. Somebody help this man. Speaking of this man, let's talk a little bit about everyone's favorite GM, Greg Evil.
I'm not a GM.
Actually,
Oh, whatever, co-GM.
I was going
Oh.
to say this, but kind of forgot. I do have some questions for when we're done with this bit
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
from
yeah.
the community.
For the
Oh.
community questions. I like it.
I like too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You get
I
3.
mean, my season was weird. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
Oh, yeah? Mr. I
You-
scored the most goals and had the most assists out of anyone sitting in this room right now.
yeah, I
Weird
scored.
season.
I scored more. I assisted more, but I was also on the second line playing as like a pseudo first line.
Mhm.
But the thing that sucked was the team itself took such a nosedive back, and then we were supposed to be a bottom feeder team. We basically were supposed to be where Thunder Bay ended up, but Thunder Bay was there, so then we just took their spot in the middle of the middle of the pack.
Mhm.
I had a goal set out for myself of getting to 70 points. I hit that with like 4 games left to play,
Yeah, there you
finishing
go.
with a 76. I did take a step back, which was expected in plus minus because we were allowing a lot more goals. But I did get a lot more power play time, which I thought was amazing. I mean, I went up almost 2.5 minutes per game. Um, I I went from 1 power play assist to 11. My hits, which was for some reason like my big focus when I made myself, I went up from 132 to 205. At one point, I was at the top of the list, but I think fatigue kicked in because I think I finished like I had that one stretch where I was like, I think Sosa noticed that I was like sub 15 minutes per game for like 7 games.
Yeah, which I
So
thought was weird because for the longest time, even in last season, you were one of like the highest producers of your team, more or less
yeah,
because you were playing in a high position on the third line. So would you say that from the transition from your third line position to second line, has that messed with your gameplay at all, or do you think you're still able to put up the same numbers? You just have harder opposition.
it's definitely harder opposition because we were matching our 2 with their 1
Mhm.
whenever we were at home. So half the season, I'm playing against whoever is listed as their number 1 line.
Yep.
So being able to put up 36 goals, I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then also just shooting like freaking crazy. I mean, we were joking last season like how our shooting percentages were all dog. Um, all of us except for Sosa went up by almost double. I think we all went up by 7%, 7 to 7.5%.
Yeah.
Sosa went down by 1 because I think you said that your GM said that you're basically shooting from your own blue line.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing the right thing for his team. And
Yeah,
it's
shooting
worked.
from their own zone.
It's worked, which is
Um,
crazy.
But yeah, like it was cool. It's cool seeing all of us just doing better. I mean, yes, it's the second season. You're supposed to do better your second season.
Yeah,
I
well, of
expect us
course.
to do better third season.
God, I would
But
hope. God, I would hope.
but the fact that it's like it wasn't a little increase. Like we all went up
Mhm.
roughly 50% in points.
I would say
Uh,
so, yeah.
Sosa, I mean, with the turnaround in St. Louis, went up 63 plus minus, which I think is a number that should be unheard of ever, from one season to another. And then our MIA kiddo of Tyler Bodega, even he, I mean, let's face it, he has to be a starter next season.
If
He's
he's not a
performed
starter
so
next
freaking
season,
well.
right? That's the thing, and we talk about him a lot because we like the guy and we think he needs a little more credit in the league. Tyler Bodega needs to be starting for a team. If it's not Great Falls Grizzlies, it's got to be elsewhere. He has such a fantastic goal save percentage. Like, it's not even just goal save percentage. His goalkeeper is built and is tested. Like, he only got the chance to play in 23 games this season. Out of a 66 game season, he played 23 games. Let's let that sink in for a moment.
Started 21.
Was it 21? Oh, he
started
started
21,
Okay. Yeah. He started 21 games, and then he was the relief for Maddie. In those 23 games, he went 14-6. That is he's going positive here.
Very respectable.
That's double what he
Exactly.
had last season in the same amount of games. roughly.
Exactly. Now let's take a look at it. Let's take it with a pinch of salt. He has a better keeper this season than he did last season. But
And they
He's
have
got a better
much
team
better
around him as
defense.
well.
exactly,
That's
that was
the-
another
that's the
big
big
thing
thing.
as well. Is there is an actual team around them now to where they are playing good.
I want to say this because obviously he's our homeboy.
He is
Maddie,
our boy, yeah.
Maddie flipped his record from last season around. Last season he went 13-28-4. This season he went 28-13-4. Like the team itself was just straight up better. Both of their save percentages went down from last season, but their goals against went down by a goal and a half. Maddie finished with a 251, and I think Delhi had like a 274.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, there's a reason why they're 2 of the top 5 goalies.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
the fact that they're both on the same team kind of sucks because Maddie
they're
still
not
has
going to
one
get
season
even
left
playing
in
time,
him.
unfortunately.
I feel like next season they should be giving equal playing time only because they're both going to be 425s.
Yep.
And if that's the case, they're never going to be freaking tired. You're going to have
You're going to have perfectly
two
perfect keepers at all times,
Yeah, 2 rested goalies at all, like for every game.
which is going to be
So-
an absolute horrifying thing as an offensive player to have to go up against. Great Falls Grizzlies, they ended up winning their conference this season, and they're going to do it again next season. And because they're going to have 2 maxed out, perfectly ready to go keepers. Now, the thing about that is and this is going to be a great transition into our next topic for today, their league season into the cup season. I need to figure out what they were smoking at Great Falls Grizzlies to allow fucking Thunder Bay to trounce them. Let's head on
let's
over.
be real.
Let's head on over. Yeah, I don't even want to wait on it
I want to say
anymore.
one quick thing about talking about their next season. They're only losing 2 defensemen.
Really?
Yeah, they're losing Dirty Puma and Sandus Starzins.
Well,
The
if
rest
you
of
are
their-
an
the rest of their
incoming
team is
rookie
still
and you're a
intact.
defenseman, try and get your ass over to Great Falls Grizzlies because it seems like they've got some openings.
You're gonna have a fun time.
Before we dive super into this, Sosa, you had the thing that you wanted to do now that we're ending this bit.
Yeah. So I asked my guys over in St. Louis today. I was like, "Hey, we're doing the podcast tonight. Do you guys have any questions you guys want us to ask?"
Did Swiffer say anything?
Swiffer did not.
Boo, Swiffer. Boo,
Wait.
Swiffer,
Boo.
get it together, bud.
Wait.
After all the nice things I say about Swiffer.
Literally,
Boo.
clean it up, buddy.
Yeah, he said something about not liking Greg Evil.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
It's weird because we're gonna be teammates in like 2 seasons
Yeah.
and probably
Actually,
on the
I am
same
wrong.
line.
I am wrong. Swiffer did have a question.
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys
Swiffer,
wanna
I
start with
love you. I love you so much, man.
He had a very important question for us.
All right, let's
Oh
hear it.
boy.
What is our favorite furniture to sit on? He's buying a couch tomorrow, so it was themed at least.
Ooh.
Yes.
Do you,
He said
Recliner.
yeah,
yeah,
I would
recliner.
have to agree. A recliner.
I would have went with couch or love seat.
You
I
know,
mean, it's just a
you
very,
would-
very
you
easy
would.
answer.
I'm.
What do you mean by that?
I've got
To be
to.
fair,
I've got to change up the
I-
stigma here a little bit. I'm gonna go with a good lawn chair, and not like.
I thought you were
dude,
gonna say the cuck chair.
No, sir.
Whoa.
No, sir. I'm talking about like.
Belongs.
All right, picture this, right? It's the middle of summer. We're in central New York. Sosa Tarand is here in central New York with us. Yep. We're in the middle of summer. It's
It's
Sure, why
snowing.
so it's snowing. Yep. It's 90 degrees outside. I've got a cold Corona in my hand, and I'm sitting on not like a regular recline chair. I'm sitting on like a beach chair. It's rubber. It's warm. It feels good on my skin. That's what I'm talking about in terms of lawn chair. That's what I mean. Like a good.
So
See, there's one thing in that
not
scenario you
plastic
missed.
tube-looking one that.
Oh, well,
like,
I've got
sticks to your skin. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
Practically
See, that would have
falling
been
through the chair.
perfect, but you forgot about music.
Ooh.
You
Yeah,
gotta-
no,
you know-
I've got my busted UBL speaker playing Fetty Wap. What more do you
There you
want?
That's fair.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
All right.
I like a recliner just because I used to play World of Warcraft
Yeah,
with
there
it.
you go.
Just lay back with my fucking
Yep.
keyboard in my lap.
you go.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I know
I
exactly
do
what
like
that feeling
this.
is.
I do like that we take questions now because there's a couple of folks who listen to the podcast, so I like to be able to
Absolutely.
bring them in and talk about them and whatnot. Which, by the way, this is now a bit that we are doing forever onwards. If you ever want to hear your name in our silly little podcast that only you and like 42 other people listen to, just send us a DM, ask us a question, and then we
And
will.
$8.42.
Yep, 8.42.
46 cents.
46.
46.
This guy.
God.
Can't
I
even
don't
get
know.
the
I'm
inside joke right.
God damn it!
You think you know
I
a
knew
guy.
I was only 4 cents off.
4 cents off, like the fourth line. We're just 4 lines
Yeah,
off from
that
being
was
good.
inflation.
But yeah, no. If you ever want to have some questions answered or you got something for us to talk about, let us know. We might mention you. Anyways,
Yeah, like how Great Falls lost 4-2 to Thunder Bay.
let's get into it. Thunder Bay.
Wait, I still got questions.
Oh, geez. All right, keep going.
I told you it's a total of 3 questions.
Okay.
No, you
Ah,
didn't
it's
tell me
St.
the
do
total.
Louis.
you not want to sprinkle them
Go
through
ahead.
the podcast? You want to burn all questions now?
I'll just burn them all now.
All right,
We'll
yeah.
we'll get sidetracked, ADHD'd, and just move on.
Oh,
Absolutely,
You know what?
we
That's
will.
fair. We will.
Squirrel.
Toaster wants to know, in an alternate SHL universe, which team? I'm gonna say alternate SMJHL universe. Which team would you guys have liked to end up on?
Ooh. You know, that's a
Yum.
good question.
Of course,
Yum.
you
Yeah.
would say yum.
You guys are on the moods.
The cheese tax.
The cheese. He wants the cheese.
It's
I
the
want the cheese
only
tax.
reason.
You know, in an alternate universe, I think I would have liked to end up over at the Kraken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I
Fair.
feel about
Before
their
or
ice.
after the ice change?
Before the ice change, definitely. I was actually just gonna say I don't like their new ice, but I do like the whole like release the Kraken that they've got for their goal sound, and
Yeah, Ninja
I
Sex,
just-
or Sex
It is
Party
pretty
so
cool.
good.
yeah, they're what?
Yeah.
They're what?
That's Ninja Sex Party. It's
Oh.
really, it's Danny Evidan.
I thought it was Danny Evidan. I was
Yeah.
every time I
I think
heard
you mean Danny Sexbang.
Danny
yeah.
Sexbang.
You're right.
My
Yeah,
goat.
my bad.
But no, I heard
Danny
it earlier,
really
and I'm
good
like,
at
oh,
video
that sounds
games,
like
part
Dan
of
from
Game
Game
Grumps.
Grumps. That's funny, ha ha ha. Didn't have a second
Fucking,
thought about it, and then all right,
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, the Kraken.
I'd say Kelowna.
Kelowna.
Kelowna, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now-
Kelowna
Imagine
is
those,
one of those
Imagine
like
the
consistently.
Sosa difference.
Oh, that's
They
true.
got some really Sosa difference with Kelowna. I'm just
That
saying.
would be crazy.
I actually have
Yeah.
two answers.
Go for it.
QCC. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Al on the Al team.
Yep.
And the other one is actually Great Falls Grizzlies. I don't know how many of you know this, but Great Falls was actually the first team to ever reach out to me when I first joined the league.
Yeah.
And I,
That's a
honest
fair
to God,
point.
thought I was going to Great Falls
uh,
at the very start, and then I got picked up by
By the
by Thunder
Walleyes.
Bay, and then the rest has been history.
Yeah.
Wow,
To
you
be
got
fair,
me.
I would also like to be part of GFG, just because I like bears.
For the longest time you have been the bear.
The first
Exactly.
person to reach out to, or the first group to reach out to me was Thunder Bay,
Oh, there you go.
and I
Interesting.
wasn't. And by the end, I wasn't even on their radar.
Really?
Wow. That's
Wow,
unfortunate.
That's crazy.
I didn't even end up on. I didn't even end up on their list or anything like that, which was really.
You know, I think Vancouver was the first team to reach out to me. So the fact that I ended up signing with them, immediate bias.
I don't even remember the team that reached out to me first. Honestly, I think it was St. Louis.
Yeah. You
St.
hear-
Louis was the first team
You
to
hear
reach
that?
out
If
to
you
me.
reached out
And-
to us first, you could have swayed Dr. Watt and Eric Sosa. You could have had two ballers on your team.
Nah, I stopped replying to some people because Cake was like, we're going to get you.
Dude,
Okay.
like the 2 weeks leading up to the draft, or not even the draft, like the teams that just started reaching out to me once I was on the free agency, because most of us didn't make the draft.
You guys missed the draft.
Yeah. It was just pandemonium in my Discord DMs. I answered the first 3 people, and I'm like, dude, I have a fucking job. I can't I can't keep like looking at my phone to answer these questions.
Yeah.
Next question. Speaking of Cake,
Yeah.
she
ooh,
wants to know
I
who is
cake.
the coolest GM in the league and why is it Toaster?
Well, it's definitely not Toaster because toasters are warm.
Whoa.
I mean,
A nice toaster in a bath is nice every once in a while.
You
Yeah.
know what? I am
It-
gonna
are we
say
talking?
it's
Are we
toast.
talking just juniors?
Yeah,
Are we talking like just the best, the coolest junior?
we could
GM?
honestly, no. Let's go with all of SHL. Before she stepped down, it probably would have been Cake, but I have to go Luke. Luke is by far one of my
Yeah,
favorite people that
Luke's
I
a
would reach
homie.
out to, and
Love Luke.
he's always commenting, trying to make sure we get paid.
Yes.
True. He is.
The 1 week where we didn't get paid ×2 spotlight, he was like at our doorstep with. He was like, "I'll give you more
Are you
money.
okay?
My rookies need money."
If I had, I have to give you two, because I really like Noxu from Chicago. Just from when I was being scouted, he was just really cool, and then didn't get me onto Vancouver. So it's definitely
Best
not
decision they
Shawnee
ever
as
made.
my
Best
definitely
decision
not
Vancouver ever
definitely
made.
not Shawnee for my favorite GM, but also I gotta say Ramen. I mean he's taught me so much
Yeah.
From getting into the league, getting into FHM, learning how FHM works, which has helped another person in here a bit with maybe why their second half was better than their first half and possibly why they upset a certain team in the first round. Um, so yeah, I think Ramen is just he's been awesome. Like open arms, taught me everything, and I feel like I've also helped you guys as best I can with your own, development too.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
awesome. Yeah.
ramen is
Shout out
definitely up
Ramen.
there. For me, I genuinely do think it's toaster. Mostly because like toaster has actually like been we've talked a little bit here and there. And anytime sorry, I just got sidetracked. One of my exes just tried calling me Jesus. What the fuck? Turn my phone
Was it
off.
toaster?
No, no.
Was it close?
No, but no. In terms of toaster, no, love toaster. They every time we upload a podcast, I always get a sweet little message from them saying that, oh, I'm gonna listen to it. I can't wait to listen to it. But when we had the long break in between one of our episodes, I think it was between episode 4 and 5, where it was like a week and a half where we didn't post.
Because I was on vacation.
Yeah, and Toaster comes into my DMs and say, "I can't wait for the new episode to come out. Like, I
Are
love
you
listening to
alive?
it." Yeah, pretty much like, "Hey, are you alive?" But yeah, no, Toaster's pretty good. Shawnee, we kind of want to fire Shawnee. I don't fully understand that gimmick, but I just kind of accept it.
Watching your games, I can see it.
Okay. Yes, understood. But yeah,
There's just a sign. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like you guys want to fire
the sign is on the
Yeah.
ice. We've put it under the ice. It's there.
him.
But now that we've gone through, we've done the questions, we've beat around the bush a little bit this entire podcast.
All right, let's fucking talk about
Let's
this
talk
series.
about Thunder Bay Walleyes versus
'Cause
the Great
my
Fall Grizzlies.
freaking god.
Silver Tarandis, how did Thunder Bay fall the Grizzlies?
I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that yet. I have to check with Troy real quick.
All right.
No, honestly, it's like I said from the beginning, we were just lulling the league into a false sense of confidence, and then when the time was right, we struck. You know?
Yeah.
Just like what you're doing with Kelowna.
Exactly.
Yes, you're letting them.
Kelowna
think
thinks
they're
they,
gonna win
they
with
have the
reverse
upper
sweep.
hand, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna be 4-2 before they know it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you guys did lose the first 2 games to the Grizzlies by a comfortable Brazil combined.
mm-hmm.
You only had 34 shots to their 64. You guys actually went like over 2 straight games without a win or without a goal.
Yeah.
You
we
literally
did.
went from the halfway point of game 1 to halfway through the third period of game 3. And then scored 3 goals in 3.5 minutes.
We scored 3 goals
to upset them the first time.
Minutes.
Again, being outshot by 15 in that game. All right, whatever. You 3-2 game. Go into the next game. It's a home game for you guys. It's a little bit closer. I mean, it went to overtime, and this is where the trend started. Last 3 games all went to overtime, and you guys finally scored 13 minutes into the overtime. Again, being outshot, nobody's doing anything on power plays. You guys are giving away the puck more. You're shooting with crappier shot quality for the most part, but you somehow squeak out a win. Cool. So now we're into game. Now it's tied up 2-2. Game 5, outshot again. Outshot in the crappy, or your shot quality was crappier. You're being out hit. You're giving the puck away more. They're taking the puck away more. You somehow fucking win in overtime again.
Yep.
And it's like, all right. So, and 6 penalty minutes. Somehow you guys went 0 for 1 on the power play, but they didn't have a penalty. So, Kind
you
of
know,
confused as to how
I
zero penalty. Oh, bench penalties don't count as a penalty minute. Oh, cool. Something to report to the team that handles the index. But yeah, then last game. All right. Sure. You guys are up 3-2. They outshoot you 53-32.
you
And
know, I don't know
you
if you've
guys
ever
took.
played
Yeah.
backyard hockey. It's not. It was the 3D backyard hockey. One of the
yeah.
power-ups was you just put an igloo in front of the net. That's just what we did. Like, you
I,
know, you
And
could
you
I think
take
just
this
you could
was
had
take
double
5,000
overtime.
shots as long as we put in more pucks into the net than you do. We're gonna
You,
win.
you guys were outshot 25-12 in the freaking overtime period.
Correct. And how many of those went in? One.
Yeah, in the 33 and a half minutes of overtime.
which
Yeah,
I
double
thought was
OT, by the
crazy,
way.
by the way, that you went
Yeah.
that far
Absolutely
into
insane.
overtime. I can't believe it even went to that. Okay, so my thing is here. We love a good underdog story. Like when we were watching the game, I remember being like, "Oh, it would be really funny if Blitzen ended up trouncing Grave." I
And then they
can't
fucking
believe
do.
you actually did it. It was a
In the
reverse
in the
sweep. It was
words
ridiculous.
of in the words of urinating tree, it's devil magic. That's what it is.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, you
yeah.
know what? All right, fine. Sure. They beat the number 1 team in the conference. Cool. I'm going to just jump. What the hell happened today? You guys had 25 shots in 2 games.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
You
We
had
we we kind of forgot that we
Wait a
had
minute,
games to
wait a
play
minute.
today. We were still
False
celebrating
sense
from
of
We're jumping into round
confidence.
two too
yesterday.
early here, lads. We've
I
got
don't
all of
care.
Yeah,
round one to
They
talk
had
about.
we
they
gotta
had
we gotta bring it up.
We've got to
they
talk
had
about round two
seven
in the next episode.
they had 7 shots in the first game that Kelowna had 8 goals in. They could have
Yeah,
shot 100% and
At
still
this.
lost.
yeah.
I
We'll
didn't
get
realize
more
it
into
was
round
that
two
bad.
next week. Okay.
Yeah, when you guys are 4-0'd.
Yeah.
No,
Whoa,
when they win
whoa! What are you
4-2.
talking about? That's what we
Look,
also. That's what
Sorry,
the.
when
I got.
you win 4-2. My bad.
Thank
you know
you.
who else went up
Thank
to
you.
nothing against Thunder Bay?
Who?
Great Falls Grizzly.
Yeah,
This is true.
exactly. And
This is
see how well
true.
that worked out for him.
Hey, listen, if you're Kelowna, you're high and mighty. You
Hang
got your
on.
big boy
Be-
pants on. Just be
Before we
wary, the
continue,
mighty
I do
walleyes.
have to bring up one thing about our run. So you guys remember doing the bracket last season for the SMJHL MPTs?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
mine's blown apart.
Yeah.
have you seen the predictions from the season 83 class?
No.
No.
Two people predicted Thunder Bay would make it past the first round. Two. I don't know
think-
which two, and I don't know if they listen to this, but if you do, God bless you people.
I think that's one more than predicted Great Falls would beat QCC last season.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
that's
one
because
person
Tyler
was
Bodega.
Tyler Bodega.
Yeah, Tyler Bodega.
Yo, he believed, and we can't fault him for that.
This is
Yeah,
true.
and then he believed this season was their season, and
Dude,
God,
it's,
I feel so bad
How
for
many
him.
games did he play?
he played 23. He played 23.
And he played
66,
one in the postseason.
which is crazy that he only got one shot in net against the number 8 seed, which I understand. You want to make sure that you get out of the first round, you play your best keeper, you go on. If you are in this case, obviously it would not have mattered because Great Falls fell. The Grizzlies fell. The Grizzlies had a great fall. It wouldn't have mattered, but you would still like to give your second choice keeper the chance and then play your first choice keeper in the games against Kelowna in round two that would have happened if they had made it through. Like,
If
it
they
doesn't
had
make
made
sense
it,
to
yeah.
me as a manager to allow your best keeper to get tired out and then put him into an even higher round. But that's a hypothetical at this point because Great Falls Grizzlies fell, and that's
Yeah.
on management at the end of the day. They did not plan around Thunder Bay Walleyes well enough.
To be
So-
fair, I don't know how many people would plan around devil magic like that. So
Yeah,
there's
two
only
people.
so much
and
you
the
can
piss
do.
Two people in the
incoming class.
To be fair, we actually didn't play on the piss ice this postseason. Maybe
I
that
know,
had
may-
something to do with it.
Yeah, you guys
Maybe.
took the ammonia out of your eyes, and then suddenly you did better.
No.
So
Look. I like to think we conditioned Great Fall into thinking the piss ice would be there, and then we just take it away, and boom, they're not ready for it.
yeah, something like that. Do you want to do a quick rundown of the rest of the groups or the rest of the first round
Might
series
as
then?
well.
Yeah, of course.
Because I mean, we had 4 series go 4-1. Vancouver had comfortably destroyed.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
go.
take over.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Sosa.
So let's just continue going down. Kelowna beats Anchorage 4-0.
Yep.
We're not surprised that
It's
Kelowna is
Kelowna.
very, very good.
We are not
Yep.
surprised.
Kelowna's fewest goals allowed in that, by the way, goal scored was 5, and in the other
Fun
2 games
fact.
they scored 20.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Anchorage is the only team not to get a win in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, looking around the
Wow.
table, that's brutal.
Yeah, they're
but
the
that's
only one
true.
that got swept. That is how that works.
Yes. QCC and Yum.
Yeah,
Greg
this
Evil paid the cheese
What
tax.
happened?
I pay. Yeah, we this series was weird.
Yeah.
I like. I don't. It was the only series where after 4 games the home team didn't win once.
Oof.
So we went down. I mean, we went down 2-0, and it was like, what's going on? They have an A line or like a top line that is all 425s.
Mhm.
Our top line is not all 425s, nor is anybody on our defense, nor is our goalie. It
Mhm.
just was one of those scenarios where UConn on paper was just the better team. They are, which
They're
is
a fairly good team. They
which
did really
is
well.
which
this
Yeah, they
season.
are.
which is torture because they're actually the second worst team in TPE. So
Listen,
they
dude.
had just they no straight up in the playoffs. That's what it was boiling down to, and I think that's part of the reason why um Thunder Bay did upset Great Falls. They're only separated by 1 TPE per person average. So on paper, it's a coin flip. And
Now-
with Thunder Bay's strategies being fixed and tactics being changed, that was what pushed them over. UConn, I honestly, like Ramen said that it was just they were the better team.
Mhm.
On paper, I don't think they were. And this could just be me being, not a well.
This could just be copium.
Yeah.
It probably is.
If you guys are
But-
losing, it's probably because of your GM.
Yeah, probably.
I think
But,
so.
like,
That's
their
my point
goal,
here.
their
TP
goalies aren't good.
I'm gonna kill him. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
In terms of TPE, yes, that's one of the biggest factors when it comes to how your team does. But you have to take a look at tactics as well. You can't
I think
you
that's
can't
what
just
did it.
have the highest TPE in the entire league and then just say, oh, whatever, we've got good players, and then just let them skate. Like, yeah, you could let the lads skate, but they're not going to do well. You need to have sound tactics. You can have the worst amount of TPE in the league, or you could be the worst team in the league. Silver Durandus, and then you could end up
With last year.
right, and then you could absolutely
Yeah.
flip it and change it in the cup. Tactics change games. It's a whole
Yeah.
it's the whole side of the managerial part that we don't
I
really
think,
see.
I think UConn's GM beat us to a T.
Mhm.
Like we were. I have our series up because I was actually one thing I didn't look into was the shots, but like when we were at home, they beat us combined 9-4. We only scored twice per game.
Yep.
We went to UConn, we beat them 14-6. And then came back home, we only scored twice. They beat us 7-2. And then they finished us off at home being the only game that the home team won 5-3. But it's like we were getting shots, but it was the same thing that Thunder Bay was doing in those first 2 games in their series against Great Falls. The shot quality just wasn't there. Like I don't know if you guys have looked at an actual like box score where it has the shot qualities. The higher the number, the better. 0 being the worst. I mean, the majority of our shots were 2s and 1s, whereas UConn, I mean, in their wins, they just pummeled us with better 3s and 4s. So like those ones that are going to go in, especially in the last 2 games. When they beat us 7-2, they had 13 shot quality 3s and 5 shot quality 4s to our 10 total. So yeah, they're gonna fucking win. And then the last game, same thing. Last game actually was a fluke. On paper, we should have won.
Mhm.
We outshot them 61-41 with 16 high quality shots, and we only scored 3 times. So
Right. And again, at the end of the day, two very evenly powered teams. It just came down to tactics. It really, really did.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to their rookie goalie. I mean, no, not rookie. Sorry, not rookie. The same draft class as us, so second season goalie.
Yeah.
CJ Foley literally carried them in the playoffs.
And, that's something I'm a little worried about here when it comes to being in round two. We've got the game advantage on them right now. We're currently up 2-0 on them, but who's to say that there isn't a comeback? Who's to say that there's not another Thunder Bay
Hey, we were going
Walleye
to
type
talk
comeback?
about round two next
Oh,
time.
yes, I know.
Yeah. Don't talk about
Okay.
All right, fine. We can talk about
You'll
round
be
one
paying the
and two.
cheese tax. Don't worry.
I don't want to.
How about now Vancouver?
Yeah, I mean,
Vancouver series. What do you think, Juan?
dude, round one was a huge thing for me. In out of the 5 games, in 3 of those games, I ended with stars. Like round one was a huge round for me, so I'm hoping that I can continue to take my form into round two. But when it comes to Vancouver and when it comes to playing in the cups, we are not a team that disappoints. We're almost always expected to make it to the semifinals. So I'm hoping that we end up making it to the semifinals, because every time we do, it always seems like it's a really good run of form. Shout outs to
You
huge
guys are
players
good.
on our team, like Coleslaw. They've come in. They came in, if I remember correctly, last season, and they've just been putting up numbers nonstop. We've got Hans Grolen. He's holding our defense strong. I mean, shouts to really everyone on our team. Shawnee's doing it really, as much as we do want to fire Shawnee, we have to take the Ange Postacoglu look at this and just say he's a man of the people. Despite us, the entire fan base wanting him to be fired, he just keeps his team together, and we all like really, 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 really appreciate everything he does.
Question I do have for you,
Yeah.
because like you guys are kind of crushing the competition in the playoffs. I think you guys are averaging like just under 6 goals per game.
Mm.
In your wins. Your only loss was a 3-1 loss, which,
Yeah.
call that a fluke because you have 3 shutouts this postseason already.
Yep.
But next season, you guys are losing you're losing Noxu and
Yep.
Aaron Noxus.
Yep.
You're losing Hans Groen. You're losing Zach Mulder. You're
Yep.
losing Florence Emil McKenzie.
Yep.
You're losing Jack.
Yep. We're going to be the whipping boys
They're
next season, I
losing
think.
players. We're moving on.
Yeah, we are losing very big players. So the first 2 seasons being at Vancouver was kind of like, hey, welcome to the league.
Here, have a
Vancouver's
great
good team.
goalie in net.
Have a great goalie net. Yeah, exactly. And have fun in the playoffs. The next 2 seasons
Pray
are
for
going to
Tyler
be
Behega.
brutal. But here's the thing. I mean, we could, and this is something I should talk to Shawnee about, is seeing if we could steal him. I don't think it's possible, but I would love to have Bodega over at
I
Vancouver.
think it's very possible as long as he's willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a good core group of players. Vancouver is one of the teams that you'll see on the upper end of the table almost always, because they're constantly rotating through players. We constantly have people coming in at a healthy level, because when I first started, we had 2 people leave, but for those 2 people that left, 3 people joined. And this season we're having 5, 6 people leave. I think we've already got like
5. Yeah.
5 people leave. We're going to be bringing in, whether it's 3 or 4, we're going to be having a good amount of people come in. And the players that we already have here on the team are already in really good positions to be moved up a line. For example, next season, I think I'm currently playing on the 3rd line. That's how good our team is right now, that I'm playing on a 3rd line.
Yeah. I honestly can see you still on the 3rd line next season, because
Right.
you're only losing Noxu.
Exactly.
My issue that I have with your team, and it would be nice to see, or it'll be interesting to see how Shawnee does look at this.
Hey guys,
You only have 2 defensemen and 0 goalies for next season.
Correct.
we need to move on.
Yes.
Why?
Because we're running closer to
We're-
the hour, and we're only halfway through. But yes, no,
And we don't need to be talking about next season. That'll be 2 weeks away podcast.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
weeks away podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
I respect it. But just to end the note there, we are losing players. We need to sign them up. But right now, we're doing really well in the cup, and I think the goal is, for these 5 players that are leaving, the goal is win the cup as a proper send off for them into SHL.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Ottawa and Detroit. Ottawa won 4-1. Kind of a surprise. I thought Detroit would put up more of a fight.
Yeah,
1-goal games in that series.
Yeah, no, looking
Yeah.
at how Detroit played their games, it really wasn't good.
Yeah.
For a
I
team
mean, it
that
wasn't
did as
bad.
well as they did, they were mid-table.
They were
They were doing
mid.
they were doing good. You'd expect them to do a little bit better against Ottawa, but Ottawa just came smashing through the gates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3 in those first 3 games and a 3-2
Right.
following up.
All of
It's like
all of it
they
was
were close
kept close,
games.
but at the same
No
time,
OTs.
you've got to take a look at Detroit. Like they've got a really strong core group of players, and the fact that they
We thought
weren't
they
able
would
to
have been a
pull
lot better.
through, it's a little weird. Kind of taking a look at that, like what happened tactically that made them fall apart, or better yet, what happened tactically at Ottawa that made them push through Detroit like this? Because we weren't really expecting Detroit to lose in round one. We were expecting them to at least make it to round two.
Mm-hmm. So, Timber versus Title. That's not much of a surprise.
You know,
Maine is a very good team.
Maine is good.
Yeah,
And
with
they
how
made it
they
very
went out
good.
last season in the first round, it's good to see them kind of putting their boots back on and getting back into this position because Maine are one of the teams that you expect to see in the finals. Like
Yeah.
we didn't expect the Krakens to win it all last season, but we didn't expect Maine to lose in the first. So to see them actually like pull up their straps and actually make it to round two now is good. They have something that they need to prove, and they're up against last season. If I remember correctly, the Kraken won it last season, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so they're up against
That's
last
round
season's
two.
title
That's
holders.
next week.
All right, fuck you. But yes, okay.
Speaking of the Kraken,
Whoa!
Speaking of the Kraken, yeah, they won their first round series 4-1.
Yeah, no
Not
shot.
surprised.
Yeah, no,
there.
not shocking.
It-
You know what?
shout out
What is
their
shocking is that
ice.
they didn't sweep.
Shout out
no
their
shout out
ice.
on their ice. It's the same color as Tyrannus's background.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the thing about
hate
it
their
is,
ice.
if you know Tyler Bodega, that's pretty much his diet.
Yeah, it is.
It's just caramel corn.
Caramel corn,
Yeah.
cookies. The only thing
Taco
that's missing is
Bell.
pizza.
Look,
Yep.
I'm
It
just
had
gonna
Taco
say regarding Carolina's ice, we did
They're
it
not the first
first.
ice.
We did it
Yeah.
first.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I
will
don't
say,
even.
though,
I don't even think.
They
I don't
did it
even think
better.
Thunder Bay is the first to have different colored ice. So
I will say Carolina. I expected that series to be a 4-0 sweep. So the fact that Colorado got one on them and
Yeah.
3 of the games were very close was actually kind of a shock to me.
Okay,
And
now
then
let's
this
talk
one,
about a
the most
team
shocking.
that does not have a cool ice. St. Louis.
Yeah, what happened?
So I will give you an in-depth analysis of my feelings throughout this series,
Let's hear it.
and I will show you guys screenshots of my box score that I do. I put emojis in there of how I was feeling each game. It was
Yeah.
not...
Can
So-
you send that to me so I can put it on the PowerPoint?
Yeah, give me a sec. But what happened was, so game one, we got a 5-2. You know, not bad. You know, we're feeling high, we're feeling mighty. We went into the playoffs as the number one overall best team, and so to get a 5-2 win, that was kind of expected. And then going into the second game, you know, 7-1, we dominated them. It wasn't really that close. Here, these are. There you go, lad. Yeah, no, we kept going, we kept dominating. What's funny about these first two games, Sosa, me, I didn't do shit. At the end of game report, it literally said St. Louis players who had a bad game, and it just said Eric Sosa. So now the joke, the joke is, did Eric Sosa have another bad game? So, wait, that's
I think these are the old ones.
what? Those are not the ones I sent you.
Those are not the ones you sent me, but they're the ones that you sent us a
They're
couple
the
days
ones
ago.
I previous sent me.
Yes.
Yeah, but they weren't the last three.
Correct.
Yeah, there we go. So let's go in the game. No, keep that up
Oh, all right.
for now.
All right.
So going to game 3, we lose 3-4 in overtime. That's our second overtime loss the whole season. We didn't mind. and then we come back game 4 to win 5-1. Okay, so we're up 4-1. I mean 3-1 right now. Spirits are high. We're doing fine, and then Nevada's beat us 4-1, and that is my reaction. Kind of have that worried face because now it's 3-2. Go on to game number 6. I have an even worse worried look
What is
because
happening
we're
right
not
now?
doing we're collapsing. It's and especially after that game when it was 6-1. And then so series is tied 3-3. Whoever wins this next game takes it all. Playing being the number one team and almost getting
Almost a
what's
reverse
the word I'm
sweep.
like? Yeah, almost a reverse sweep. It's kind of worrying. And even this game, I was having like a heart attack, and it's it goes into the third period. We're down 3-1. We get a couple quick goals. I think I scored one that game.
Negative.
No, no, never mind. But no. And then Jean Mull, within like the last few minutes, she's our goat, and she took us up to win 4-3. So Jean was very much praised
on
after
a
that.
on a shot quality level 1, by the way. So not even like what is referred to as it could be a low quality of shot or a medium quality of shot that was a block shot. That was the game
Mhm.
winner.
Crazy. But we did that hero thing. What makes a hero on the ice?
Mhm.
That is a
Mhm.
hero right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Jean is my hero. Okay,
So
that's
I in that last game, I want to say one stat that I don't that yes, you didn't score, but I just was looking through this and um while you were on the ice, Nevada didn't have a single shot.
Really?
That
really.
is
Not only did they
shut
not
down
have a
defense.
single shot, but St. Louis had 15 while you were on the ice.
That's the Sosa difference,
You
baby.
It's just the Sosa
That
difference.
is the Sosa difference.
yeah, I
In
just
another
saw this and I
universe,
was like,
Corona would have the Sosa difference.
yeah, you literally it was like I almost want to go through the other games, but yeah, 15 shots for while you were on, 0 against. The next closest on your team, which also wasn't bad, was Ramat with that was 12-1, and then Knight who was 10-1. So like that's that's absurd, especially when you got somebody on the other team
No,
that was literally 0%, 7
Kate
shots.
did a great Kate did a great job that last game. Changed up the tactics and cured us that win.
Yeah, sorry, that was just like a stat that I saw. That I was like, what is shot share percentage? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that was, I mean, it
that's the first
was,
round,
that's
boys.
the first round. It
Girls.
was, I did not know how to function while you guys were playing your games because it would have been it was already outrageous that Great Fall, the winner of the South Conference, lost. It would have been outrageous. I'm sorry, North South. What conference are we?
We are the North.
We are the North. Okay. Great Falls lost the North Conference. It would have been outrageous if the winners of the Southern Conference lost as well. The overall winners lost. It
Oh
would
yeah.
have been insanity. No one would know what to do going into like these next couple of rounds. Like, okay, anyone can win it now. And I mean, you
I
kind
still
of
think anybody can win this.
I
Like this
I
is gonna be
think
nuts.
if I'm doing
The one team
predictions
that's not
of
expected to win is probably going to win it all.
oh god, it'd be
Just
so
Or
saying,
it's or it's
Thunder
gonna or
Bay,
it's gonna be or
baby,
it's gonna be the or
woo!
it's gonna be
because
Kelowna.
yeah, you know what? Let's do
let's
predictions
be
real
honest
quick.
here, because you have the Kraken and Timber, both very good teams. You have St. Louis and Ottawa. St. Louis is obviously the better team in that, but Ottawa didn't have a terrible season
No.
from what I saw.
And you guys are 1-1
Uh,
right now.
yeah, Ottawa's like literally middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Um, Kelowna should beat Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay should not be here, but it would be
Correct. We absolutely should not be, and
hilarious.
yet we are still here.
It'd be hilarious if they win. Just saying.
If they
And
go
then
another
Yum in
round,
Vancouver.
it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be insane. And let's do. I do want to do predictions real quick for who do we think we'll meet in the finals. At the end of the day, I think it's a tough call to kind of figure out what's going on the left side of the bracket. Realist here, I think Kelowna are going to be in the finals no matter what. As much as I hype myself up, I think Kelowna are just going to edge us out by a little bit. And it's a hard toss up, but I think it's either going to be the Krakens returning to the finals, or it's going to be St. Louis. There's no doubt in my mind between the two of them. If I had to pick one, I would like to say St. Louis make it to the finals.
Honestly, I would rather play the Kraken than the Timber.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Kraken are that great of a team, and the Timber are a major threat.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's who I'm mostly scared about. Here, I was kind of hoping the title would have did me a favor, but
Yeah.
we just have to see. I mean, we ended 1-1 today. I'm totally happy about that. Which Evil has this crazy stat where I didn't really do a whole lot in the first series, but I doubled like all my stats in the second series.
Yeah.
Oh,
So far within the
your
first two
defensive, your block shots and hits, you had you doubled your stats from the first 7 games in 2.
You finally found
what's
your opponents.
crazy? Well, no, what's even crazier, and I kind of want to just bring this up real quick. So going to season 81, I had 0 goals, 7 assists. And I'll just do my defensive stats. 22 takeaways, 4 giveaways, and then 17 block shots and 27 hits. Right now, I'm 1 goal, 3 assists. So I got to catch up on my assists there a little bit. But my takeaways aren't there. But I have 16 block shots and then 25 hits. So 2 less hits and 1 less block shot. And we played what? 17 games in the playoffs
Versus
last
9.
season?
Yeah.
Versus 9? Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
I
crazy.
I have your first 2 games of the second roundup. You had in game 1 2 block shots and 8 hits with 2 takeaways. In game 2, you had 6 block shots with 2 hits and a takeaway. So, yeah.
We caught up real quick to last season's.
Yeah, and a +6 by the way. Even in the loss, you were a +4. So, yeah, you're doing so much better.
You're doing what you need to.
Yeah, I mean,
different.
In terms of
this so different.
how I expect the rest of this to pan out, I do think it's going to be Vancouver and Kelowna in the finals for the North. I do think it's going to be St. Louis and the Timber in the South. Both series I see going minimum 6 games, probably 7. I think Vancouver might be able to pull it out against Kelowna. I do think that if Shawnee can do some tactics right, they are beatable. My biggest fear is seeing Kelowna making it all the way to the finals without dropping a game, because so far they're 6-0.
Yeah.
Do not worry, it will be done.
Yeah,
we will take
stopped.
1 game.
Just saying,
St. Louis, if you guys keep going,
finals,
that would be amazing.
Would be awesome.
epic.
I would like to see one of us get a win it all. Sorry, Blitzen, I don't think it's going to be you, and it definitely can't be me.
That's
season.
what everyone said about the last season
round.
For
Blitzen.
So.
Next season for Blitzen.
No, next season for me. I'm tired of these 1 round earlier exits than we expect. We honestly thought we were going to make it to the
So
second
what
round.
you're saying is next season you're not even going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, we will find.
He's going to sit the bench.
Wait, is
you know who I would
isn't
love
there supposed to be an expansion coming up soon?
Who's that?
I don't know for the
I
F.
would
There's
love-
supposed to be an extension for SMJHL though.
Oh,
Excluding St. Louis in the playoffs, I want to see an Ottawa versus Thunder Bay final.
Okay,
that'd be fire.
Dude, that'd be insane.
That would That would be the
insane.
craziest shit. They would have to be the 2 lowest teams ever to make the finals.
You know
I
what?
don't know. 'Cause
Probably.
Give
Ottawa-
me a
Ottawa had
Raptors
over-
versus Anchorage final. Let's restart everything, guys.
Ottawa would have been the second. Actually, has over double the friggin' regular season points in Thunder Bay.
Oh wow.
So
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying because they're
number.
9th right now, so they're literally mid as fuck.
Mhm. Go
But
off.
every other team is above them, other than Thunder Bay right now. So
Mhm.
I would
Oh,
love
yeah,
to
no,
see
I
the
get
2
ya.
bottom feeders, duke it out in the finals.
If
Yeah.
Thunder
That'd be
Bay
fun.
if Thunder Bay wins Game 3, there's hope. If they don't win Game 3, it's going to be a 4-0 sweep.
Yeah.
No,
We
I foresee
suddenly
a reverse
resurrect
sweep.
the spirit of the 2010 Philadelphia Flyers after going down 3-0 against the Boston Bruins to fucking reverse sweep them. No, sorry, they went down 3-1, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're playing the top team on paper. So
Yeah, and that's
good
what
luck.
the Flyers did that season. So
Yeah. Well, you guys aren't the Flyers. You're friggin'
with
fish.
Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
Close
I-
enough. I mean, great comparison.
I think overall, no matter what team makes it to the finals, we're gonna have a lot of fun just shooting the shit.
It's going to
about
be
it.
interesting, absolutely.
I think
As long as one of us makes it.
Dude,
Otherwise,
yeah,
I don't want it.
I would love if one of us made it. Now the thing about that is, Evil's already out. Blitzen's gonna be out. The only
Whoa,
chance.
we don't know that.
All right.
Yeah, we know it. Don't,
Sorry, I'm
you
a
can-
realist. I'm a realist.
We'll know after
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We'll know after tomorrow. But in terms
I
of
believe in you.
teams, our teams are.
Thank you, Smalls.
It's so lopsided. Like if we want like a fourth line final, Smalls has to make it to the final every single season because we are all in the one conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they could.
The St. Louis 7 will make sure of it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
speaking of, what's up with the St. Louis 7? Is everyone still there? Everyone's
We're
still
just
active?
chilling. Yeah, everybody's still active. I think there might be one person that's not active from it.
Rip.
think
It's
you're-
the
I
St.
think-
Louis 6.
Yeah, no,
Rest in peace, we
no,
lost a real one.
I'm pretty sure you all are. I'm just looking at everybody's TPE. I mean, the only one from season 82 who's like really down is your backup goalie and that Andrew Drewski. Otherwise, I mean,
Yeah.
all you guys are still your forwards are 450 plus. You're 417. Walrus is 378. Paul Missinet's 328. So he's active-ish, but I know he wasn't very active last season, so he's just behind the 8 ball or behind. And then
Could be.
T-Man's at 376. So I mean, yeah, you guys are still active and still crushing it, and still gonna be there for 2 more seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
And you got season 83ers coming in that are easily going to just replace everyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are fine.
Nobody can replace Gene.
No one can.
That's
my hero.
There you go.
You will. Don't worry.
I know. I'll be the one probably taking over her position. But that's just how the cookie crumbles in this league.
That's fair. You know what, guys? We're running low on time here. I have a real sponsor for today. I have a real sponsor
What do you mean
that
by real?
I have a real sponsor that I want to give today. Someone I would love to give a shout out and give some real credit. So,
And what about my
Is it the artist?
it is the artist.
Let's go.
So I do want to give a shout out, and I'm gonna pull it up here. The graphic. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Give me a moment.
That was it.
Hold on.
That
hold
was
on.
it.
It was it. Hold on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I'm fixing. There we go. That. There we go. That's what I was. looking to do.
but
Oh,
bad,
now,
bud.
Hold on.
bad,
That
bad.
didn't work.
You've
Bad,
cut off
bad,
Sosa's head.
Bad.
And I'm very wide now.
Oh God, just
Oh,
let me figure
just
out how to
you.
get this up. But
Oh, jeez. Very professional.
I know. Dude, I run a podcast here, guys. Please.
You do?
No.
You have a podcast?
No, I don't. I just kind of show up.
for
Okay,
our
there we go.
funny
For
our funny sponsor,
yeah, go ahead. And give it
we're Nerd Wallet. Nerd Wallet allows you to track your spending, income, net worth, and subscriptions all in one place. So
what?
make sure you subscribe to our channel, and so we can potentially get a real sponsor that'll pay us money.
If anyone ever
Oh,
actually
we
I also
sponsored
have-
this,
I-
that would
we
be
get paid real
ridiculous.
money for this. I have questions.
I actually have. I can also get a good one for you if you want. This is actually brought to you by NordVPN, which is
God.
today's sponsor.
No.
Do you hate getting your information stolen by thieves when you use a coffee shop's
I
Wi-Fi?
do.
Well, of course you do. Me too. One time I was at a
So much
Starbucks wanting
porn
to
got
do
released.
work, and a thief stole my password to all my accounts.
Oh no.
Sorry, I can't. This copy pasta is amazing.
God.
You know what? I'm just gonna keep going. Thank God I'm on an FBI watch list, so that idiot got caught.
Oh, thank goodness.
And I'm gonna stop because it definitely goes off the rails.
That's great, dude.
No, continue,
Oh.
King. That was hilarious.
No, but in all seriousness, I do want to give a shout out to Liz Draws. You can find her on Instagram. She's got a lot of good artwork. I've known her for a couple of years. We graduated high school together. We hang out often, do a bunch of things together, and I commissioned her a few weeks ago. I'm like, hey, I'm doing a silly little podcast. Do you think you could do something for me? And she came up with an absolute masterclass. She was in contact with me all the way through from start to finish, line work, asking questions, what I wanted. If you are looking for someone to make you a good graphic for a very reasonable and fair price, go give a shout to her. Her DM is at LIZAUDDRAWS at Instagram. That's it. That's my
And
shout.
Nintendo, please don't sue us.
Nintendo? Oh, yeah. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dr. Wad.
That's not Dr. Mario. That's Dr. Wad. All right, but yeah.
Looks like more like Dr. Eggman.
No, the fuck it does not. What are you talking
That's Sega.
about? That's Sega.
Stupid.
Come
I'm just
on,
saying.
man.
It kind of does.
It's a crazy shout to call me bald. It's insane.
Bald.
No.
He had hair at one point.
Bald.
Yeah, giant ass mustache. Anyways, we're getting off the rails here.
I think we're gonna call it there.
Yeah, thank you guys so
I
much
need to
for
go
watching
smoke a
the
cigarette.
podcast. I am Dr. Wad. This is Eric Sosa, Greg Evil, and Silver Tarandis, and we will catch you guys within the next 7 to 10 business days. See
Something
ya.
like that.
Hey, it's 11/11. Make a wish.
Bye.